We begin by praising Allah the Most High, by declaring that none is worthy of worship or unconditional obedience except Him alone, and we bear witness that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is His final messenger. We ask Allah to send His peace and blessings upon him, upon the noble prophets who came before him, upon His purified family and His loyal companions, and upon those who follow His path with sincerity until the day of judgment. May Allah make us among them. Dear brothers and sisters, when we speak about detachment, the ability to let go of our current state in a healthy and spiritually grounded way, we are not advocating for neglecting the present. Rather, we are talking about remaining rooted in the moment while keeping our gaze and our hearts on the hereafter. This balance is something we see repeatedly exemplified in the life of our Prophet ﷺ. Consider the famous narration in which a man asked the Prophet ﷺ, "When is the hour?" And the Prophet ﷺ replied, "What have you prepared for it?" This seemingly simple response holds a timeless framework. Don't preoccupy yourself with the timing of future events. Instead, ask yourself how ready you are for them when they arrive. Now, if we take that principle and apply it beyond just the day of judgment, we find a powerful prophetic methodology, spiritually preparing in advance for every major and minor phase of life. For instance, when we look at prayer, excellence in worship means that your heart connects to the place of sujood before your body even steps into the masjid. If you're scrolling your phone until the last second before the iqamah, you're unlikely to be truly present in salah. You're physically in the masjid, but emotionally still at your desk, in your chats, or lost in your worries. Allah calls us to prayer by instructing us to leave behind everything. Physically, mentally, financially, let it all go. Salah isn't just a change in posture, it's a shift in presence. And if you remember nothing else, remember this principle. Arrive spiritually before you arrive physically. Ask yourself, have I spiritually reached my grave before my body does? Have I emotionally rehearsed what old age or illness might feel like, even while I'm healthy and strong today? If I'm wealthy now, have I spiritually prepared for the possibility of losing everything? And if such a moment comes, will I be anchored to Allah or thrown into despair? This is not about doom and gloom. This is about developing spiritual foresight. The trial may never come, perhaps Allah will take you before poverty, illness, or loss ever reaches you. But if those moments do arrive, they should find your heart already steady, already connected to Allah. Start from the furthest possible event, the day of judgment. The Prophet ﷺ taught us to rehearse that moment regularly. What if we walk it backward from there? What if, instead of asking, when will things collapse, when will hardship strike, we ask, what have I done to spiritually and mentally prepare for it? Imam Ahmad was once asked about the nature of the Dajjal, will he claim to be a Muslim or not? He replied, do you know the supplication for entering the masjid? When the man said no, Imam Ahmad told him to learn that first. In other words, focus on the preparations that actually benefit you now before indulging in speculation. Apply this idea to all of life's what-ifs. If war breaks out, if the economy collapses, if comfort disappears, have you imagined who you want to be in that moment? Have you practiced being that person? If you prepare your soul for the worst, then when a lesser trial comes, you will rise to meet it with resilience. It's what the companions of the Prophet ﷺ did. Take Abu Bakr, for example. Long before the Prophet ﷺ told him to accompany him in the hijrah, he had already prepared 2 camels, nourished them, and rehearsed the journey in his heart. So when the command came, he didn't hesitate. He had already arrived at that moment before it physically came. The scholars say there are 2 types of spiritual foresight. Inevitable progressions of life, like aging, death, illness. The most successful youth are those who live beyond their years, thinking in their teens as if they were in their 30s, preparing a path in reverse. Unpredictable events, sudden loss, chaos, hardship. The believer imagines and prepares for even the most difficult tests so that if they come, their heart is already firm. Let's say you prepare your heart for complete financial loss. Then, if you lose only half your wealth, your soul remains stable, because in your heart, you had already surrendered everything to Allah. This mindset extends to our relationships as well. May Allah protect our families and loved ones. But think of the people of Gaza. Do you not think that many of them have mentally played out the scenes of losing their homes, their children, their parents? And when it happens, may Allah ease their pain, their hearts still turn to Allah because they were never fully rooted in this dunya to begin with. This is the prophetic mindset, to walk through this world lightly, to enjoy the present while not being owned by it, to be present with your loved ones, but never forget that our ultimate return is to Allah. The Prophet ﷺ embodied this. He was deeply loving, emotionally available, and present with his companions. Yet when the call to prayer was made, it was as if no one else existed. That's healthy detachment, not abandonment, but prioritization, loving people for the sake of Allah while still placing Allah at the center of your love. Practice daily detachment. Give charity regularly so you're used to parting with wealth. Spend time with the sick, poor, and oppressed so you're not fooled by health or comfort. Detach from people by anchoring your love for them in your love for Allah. If you surround yourself with people who have suffered, the betrayed, the ill, the poor, you're less likely to be deceived by the illusion of stability. It's like knowing someone who backstabbed others. No matter how charming they are, you already know what they're capable of. That's how you should treat the dunya. Recognize it as unreliable, and you won't be surprised when it lets you down. Imam al-Hasan al-Basri said, I knew people who were not overjoyed when the world came to them, nor were they crushed when it was taken from them. Their spiritual pulse did not change. Sunrise and sunset, gain and loss, they remained focused on Allah. He continued, they would stand in the night, placing their faces in the dust, weeping and calling upon Allah. If they did good, they begged Allah to accept it. If they sinned, it broke them. Their hope was in Allah's mercy, not their own deeds. Their fear was of their sins, not of any worldly event. True strength is when your internal state is no longer at the mercy of your external situation. And that requires nurturing. That's why the Prophet ﷺ has given years of Quran and night prayer before the tragedies of Khadija and Abu Talib's deaths. By then his heart was trained. He had something to fall back on, his connection with Allah. And so we must build now what we will lean on later, not out of fear, but out of faith. As the great early scholars said, asceticism doesn't mean you have nothing, it means nothing has you. You can possess the world, but the world should not possess your heart. Every blessing you have today, treat it like extra time, a gift you didn't earn, like a free dessert after a meal, or bonus time at the arcade. Be grateful, be present, but don't be deceived. You didn't deserve any of it. It's all from Allah. So let your joy and gratitude always point you back to the giver, not the gift. May Allah keep us spiritually anchored, prepared for every outcome, and content with His decree. Ameen.